Right, we have a couple of them joining in,
Great.
and we'll start in a couple of minutes as soon as we have a good number inside the room.
Sure. Well done.
Right? They're still coming in. Great. Just give it another minute or so, and then we'll begin.
Sure, sure. We'll wait.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for getting on the session. Welcome, all of you. A couple of quick instructions before I start off. At the bottom of your screen, you have a couple of options. You have the Q&A option, so you can ask us questions at any point during this webinar. We understand. I mean, you'll be all muted and your videos will be off throughout the session, but you can ask us your questions and we try to keep the session as interactive as possible. You also have a raise hand option at the bottom. You can raise your hand at any point of time and maybe, we'll probably answer that question or get you on the panel and you can ask your question live. So we'll also be putting out a couple of polls throughout the session, like I said, to keep it as interactive as possible. So, and we'll put those results up so you can look at the polling results. So make sure you do vote when these polls come up. We'll keep it on for about 40 to 50 seconds. So make sure you quickly read those questions and vote. Right. Hello again. I'm Kevin. I work with Gold Education, and I'm so glad to be doing this. Thank you, Satya, for coming on board for joining me in this session. So I'm going to quickly introduce both Worldview and the Gen Z Solvers Interactive. So for the last 10 years, Worldviews, we've curated learning experiences across the globe for Generation Z. Now, we've always delivered these powerful and insight learning experiences, using tools like travel and conferences, the outdoors and simulations, and all with the ultimate aim of transforming Generation Z into a generation of solvers. Now, a key aspect for all our programs has always been adaptive capacity. And we believe that, that very adaptive capacity is being really tested right now more than ever. Now, but why we're doing this, we think that, the Generation Z, you have the ability to impact both your local and your global communities. So we decided, why stop? Why wait if there's a global lockdown? Yeah, we get it, but we know all of you guys are online. We know you have computers, so why not do this? So we didn't let that hold us back from facilitating your learning. So in this very pursuit, we put together our first ever completely digital initiative. We call it the Gen Z Solvers Interactive, and we've set the theme for season one to be the dialogues for post COVID-19 world. So we've had for the last couple of days, we've had thinkers, we've had dreamers, we've had entrepreneurs and artists and change makers, and all who shared their powerful and inspiring stories on this platform. And today we have an entrepreneur, we have a fantastic person on the session with us. We have Satya. I'm going to quickly introduce you, Satya, to the attendees. So Satya is a science graduate from Bangalore University. Now, of course, she started the indie project store along with her friend and partner, Shilby. Shilby was supposed to be here, but she couldn't make it on this call. But again, Satya's going to make sure that she fills in for her as well. But so they came across a problem, and just like any other, like most mompreneurs that they like to call themselves, uh, they had a problem of finding locally made quality products for children. So they decided, why not that they start something by themselves, uh, for Shilpi's 1-year-old son, and get some quality products out. So that was how the indie project store began. I'm going to let Satya talk about more about the initiative and the journey that they've had all this while. So I'm going to deliver that, ask her a couple of interesting questions, and make sure all the attendees here get it. And if you have any questions for her, please just go ahead, get on the Q&A option, and shoot your questions. I'll make sure I ask them same time. Right, Satya, again, thank you for doing this, for coming on board. And yeah, first question straight out, we'd like you to tell how did this all happen. I just gave a quick brief to them, but we'd really like to know how the indie project store came to be.
Thank you, Kevin. I think that was a really lovely introduction. I think you summed up the whole thing in a very few words. That's very nice to nice for an introduction. And I also want to congratulate before anything else, congratulate you guys for doing this initiative, and doing something so innovative and making, what can I say, making best use of resources and time, right? So
Yeah.
that's really good. So really, I'm thankful that we have people like you who think about engaging audience even during this time. So great work, good job there, and um, and thank you for the introduction. Now, to start with, I mean, really, it has been an amazing journey so far for us. It all started with its tiny thing that we all love so much. That's my nephew and my founder's son. He was turning 1, and we wanted to give him an experience of going somewhere which we know that he would keep in his memory, which is his favorite things at that time. Their favorites change every minute. So during that time, his favorite thing was monkeys, was apes. He was fascinated by them. So we wanted to plan this small trip to a orangutan rehabilitation center in Malaysia called Sepilok. That's where we went. And like you said, we struggled to find comfortable clothes for him that he can wear throughout the day and be comfortable. And that's the only fabric that came to our mind was cotton at that time. And we did not find it. We did not find too many options at that time. This was back in 2016. Didn't find that many options. So we were like really, heartbroken. And during our, the whole trip to um, to that place, slowly we were also thinking about, uh, you know, uh, how we can solve this problem. What can we do? There must be other moms who must be struggling to, get something for their babies, especially in a very uh, in a price range that is economical, that makes sense to most Indian families, because these kids grow every minute. They keep growing. Something that they wear the next day, it may not fit them. They have growth spurts like that. So keeping that in mind, when we came back, I went back to my the NGO that I was associated with back then, in Bangalore. I went back to my NGO, and we were constantly having dialogues between me and Shilpi. And then she slowly started to explore the local fabrics in Hyderabad, especially that are core to Telangana and Andhra, the ikat fabric, the linen fabric that is famous, very famous in this part of the country. And she started exploring designs and started making it her, making, uh, you know, uh, create something on paper, get in touch with the local tailor that we had. She's again a tailor who has come down from Punjab, and she was settled in Hyderabad, trying to make a living, give better education to her kids, and that's the only reason why she came down to South, because up north in villages, and even today, in some of the villages and town in parts of Punjab and Delhi and all, they feel South has a better foundation for education. And so she had come down for that, and she was working very hard. And through her, we started this journey, and she was there. She till even now she's there with us, and we still get her to make our clothes. Obviously, she has grown with us, and she's also now too busy to take up too much work, but then she helps us out because of how we started. So Shilpi started exploring a lot of designs, and she used to make the boy wear it and take pictures and put it on Instagram, and people loved it. And there were so many people who started to follow her, and then we eventually decided to make a separate account for this, and we started that there it was started very at a very small scale. We started this in 2016, and our first ever, Hyderabad takes a little time to catch up with the trends, with things. So we launched this for the very first time in Bangalore, and we had an amazing response at a very small, event in Indiranagar. Some of you who are from Bangalore may be familiar with that place. So they were having Indiranagar Club was having their own family day celebrations, and they were putting up a lot of stalls, and uh, you know through a friend I got to know there is something that we can try, and then we just spoke to that person. And I would like, she was very warm and kind. We were not a brand by then, but then she onboarded us anyway. She said, okay, let's, I
In the
love the.
beginning, I mean, when you're, when your partner was making those clothes for her kid, was it specifically just for their kid? I mean, it was, they had nothing else in mind. They knew that they, you know, it was only for that.
There was nothing else in mind. My partner, she is from a design background. You
Okay.
know, she didn't have the opportunity to pursue design as a career, or in academics, but then she always had a design thing in her mind. And she's from Delhi, and stuff which are cotton, which are trendy, are easily accessible there.
Okay.
And in the very beginning, she had a lot of influence with the Indian fabric. And at that time, the only, during the time we were growing up, I'm talking about early 2000, 2005, 6, the only place where we will get the kind of, contemporary look that we want with the Indian fabric is Fab India. And it did empty our pockets. I have to be honest about that. But then, they had a design, and we were like, that's our personality,
Yeah.
in contemporary yet Indian, and has that Indian fabric, the prints, they were lovely. So she's been someone like that from the very beginning, and she wanted similar clothes for her kids, and she wanted them to be comfortable, especially in Hyderabad. The weather is as such that you hardly see any winter. I think it's 10 or 15 days of winter during
Yeah, we
December.
were having this conversation the other day, and we just called November and December a
Yeah,
cool summer
cool summer.
in
Yes,
a winter.
rightly said. So that so then it came to a point where we wanted to make sure that the babies are comfortable, and that's when she started off with this. And it initially started with only designing clothes for her child, and then slowly, gradually, it became such a, people started loving it, and they were like, oh, where did you get this from? We want it. So like, okay, there looks like there is a problem, and that, when we can solve that problem, because
All
um,
this, all this curiosity that was created in the market, was it through, your founder's Instagram? I mean, was it social media at, at the core?
I would say mostly social media, especially Instagram, is helped us a lot, because during that at that time there were very few brands. Very, you can just count them. Four or five brands that were there, and they had a niche market that they were catering to. There were no one catering to the market segment that we were looking at, which is upper middle class, who want to, invest in products that are sustainable, and who want to invest in Indian products, want to support Indian businesses. They have this conscious living, um, as a part of their lifestyle. It's not that they just want to be a conscious, promote that. It actually, those parents have actually inculcated that in their own lifestyle, from not using plastic to preferring to use something that we used to take to our school when during lunchtime, steel boxes, right? And people, so those are the kind of different. So one is that Instagram, through which we saw that. Second was the Hyderabad parenting community, because she was a part of the community, and then we met so many like-minded mothers who were looking for stuff that Shilpi was looking for, and she had the knack of designing, and that's where it all started for us. And
Right.
then
We have a lot of attendees. Most of them are Gen Z from 13 to 17 category, and I'd put myself in that group, not in the Gen Z category, but a lot of us spend quite, a considerable amount of time on social media,
mm,
and specifically probably like an Instagram or so, and we get bombarded with a lot of products on a daily basis because we're on that platform. I would ask, how different is it? If I'm pretty sure there are a couple of entrepreneurs here who want to start their journey somewhere,
mhm,
uh, but they have this massive tool at their hands, which is social media, to just go out there and start off a business,
mm,
or their entrepreneurial journey. I would like to ask you, how different is it to maybe, apart from the, of course, from the parents community that you all had, the mothers community that you had, how different is it from the olden days where someone had to go to a store maybe, or a boutique store? They probably still do it, but how different is it to posting a picture on Instagram and getting those quick likes and that attraction, and then selling on a social media platform, to someone who goes to a store and says, you know what, I'm giving you 10 of these, make sure they're sold? How different is that for you? Like, do you face your challenges, your the advantages? We'd like to hear more.
so yeah, so depending on the kind of business vision that you have, you can choose how you want to approach this. So we never really uh, were big on retail. We were always uh, big on social media promotions and launching our products there and selling it online, because the the it was convenient for us to take that route compared to going to a physical store, and we did that as well, but we always had a better response online.
Okay.
And e-commerce, I mean, through our own website, through our on Instagram, whatever we've had, it's way better response than compared to any other stores. We have placed products in a lot of 3 or 4 stores in Bangalore, and then
Okay.
a couple of stores in Kochi. But the response that we have online is way, uh, you know, way much more than what we have
Stronger maybe.
because of the product that we are offering. We are
Yeah.
offering product that is 0 to 5 year old products for babies, for toddlers. Now, a typical mother in today's scenario does not have the bandwidth to go to a store,
And go buy.
buy,
Yeah.
because you have a busy schedule. You have to make, and today we have a new generation of mothers who are very, very independent of what they want to do. There are a lot of mothers considering homeschooling, so probably they're not even sending their kids to kindergarten or preschool that early. They're being very, very cautious about how they want to raise their child, and they want to take the full uh, control with them in terms of how they want to what they want what the child will learn and teach. So most of the time they're spending with the parents, especially mothers,
Mhm.
and these mothers don't have the time to go out and shop as much as a teenager would, a college goer would, or a single person would, or a couple for that matter who don't have children would have that much time to go out and shop. So uh, for our target audience, I think it worked beautifully, because we've had so we work on Shopify platform. We're one of the best platforms, I would say. It's very convenient, user friendly.
Repeat that, sorry.
Sorry.
Could you repeat the platform's name? You couldn't get
Shopify.
that.
It's one of the most common e-commerce platforms that one can have, Shopify. They're very easy. They maintain security. They do most of the work for us. We just have to make sure it is presented beautifully. That
So
is
it's Shopify like an Amazon, where you give your products to them, they pick it up and they sell it to the customers.
Shopify is a platform where you can host your website, and
Okay.
you can create your own. Right now our website is on Shopify platform. They make sure everything is done. We only have to maintain the front end, and that was very easy for us to do. It is one of the easiest platforms to work with. I really loved it. So when then we were doing through that, and so as you can see, everything was something that we thought will be will
Difficult or a challenge. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'd actually like to, just throw some light on that point. If there's any one of you who's probably like, a little worried about starting off a business, all these small things that come in, who's going to make my website and who's going to design this, who's going to design that. I think there are a million, initiatives out there to just assist you along the way. And Shopify is a great example.
Yeah, it
But
is
worrying about, starting a website and hosting it and all of that is just gone within a couple of seconds because they made it that easy to
easy. Yeah.
host a website.
Yes. So you just have to make sure that you have a website that you have blocked on one of, I think it's GoDaddy or some of the
Yeah.
platforms. So I'm not a very technical person. So I had my husband who helped me out with it initially with the Shopify website bit, but then it was very easy to make it compatible and host our products out there. So it was easy for them. And so we would be at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, or early morning 4 o'clock, we'll be hearing ding 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 orders coming in. That's the time they're getting to shop.
That's a nice way to wake up.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's a nice way to wake up. You're like, oh, okay, one more order has come, one more, because you're starting off, and you see that orders come. It's always a pleasure to see
Someone
that.
actually just asked the question saying, how long did it take for you to go viral on social media? I mean, it's a very Gen Z like question. So yeah, is there a time frame maybe, or when was that time it just blew up? Like when was that day when you just had ting 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 all morning? How long did it take, like from the first day of starting of the business to this point?
Right.
When do you
So
think was
I think the initial 5,000 followers that we've had on our website, on our Instagram, was the most difficult part to get. And then
okay?
slowly, gradual, those 5,000 made the next 28,000 that we have now followers, almost 28,000 followers we have on Instagram, made it easier for us. And that moment that happened was sometime, I think, around the December of 2017 is when we were like all over the place. We've got covered by a lot of media. We had mentions in one of the papers like Hindu, and really, it's like once we uh, once we were once we were out there in the media in the city in Hyderabad, then it just picked up. People just went crazy about it, and then we had so many um, followers after that. And even today, we have so many mothers who come back and shop from us. And from the very beginning, they have started. They had started. They had given us a chance to make their babies wear our clothes when we were not a brand. They really believed in our design. They really liked us as a brand. They liked our approach. They liked our thought behind how we started and why we started this. And that's when they started with us. And even till date, they are quite big on social media. They're big influencers, but they have not uh, you know uh, gotten anything for free. They wanted to pay for every product that they bought from us, they took from us. So then, it happened sometime in 2017 when we had that great push. And
Mhm.
then, it's not it's not, we never looked back from there onwards. So once we had it there, just about, keep, uh, so Shilpi is the person who actually took the whole social media thing on upon herself with
Yeah.
absolutely no help from my end, I must say. She did her research, and she figured out the ways in which Instagram can help our business. And that's how she got into it. She met so many like-minded people who would want to talk about us. It's important on social media to have like-minded people who support your cause, who support or who believe in your business, so they can spread the word for you.
You
And
know,
that's what
that's
happened.
your thing. I mean, we spoke about this before this conversation as well, about one of the unique things about you and your entrepreneurial journey is the number of women involved
Yes.
in the entire operation, right from the beginning to the end, and also in the community that you're selling to and you're marketing to. Would you like to throw some light on this powerful, group of women that you have along with you, especially your partner and, the people that you're working with? Would you like to tell us something about that?
So So we started, like I said, initially we started with the fact that, okay, let's go ahead and start doing this because a lot of moms want it. And the Hyderabad, the mom, the Hyderabad mommy community, they just loved us, and they still do. And we love them too for supporting us and being with us and believing in our product and believing in what we are doing. And so it all started with our clothes, and then we saw there were a lot many other things that people wanted to explore, and we had a huge audience. So we started to bring other mompreneurs who are doing similar work that we are doing, in terms of be it baby products in terms of food and accessories, or we have a lot now. Baby essentials from from swaddles to jablas to cloth diapers to carriers. We have a lot of different variety of products on our website now. When we started initially, it was just to support these moms who have left their job, and because they wanted to raise their child and they wanted to be there for their child, they left the job. But it didn't stop the craziness that they have within to do something. And they came out, and that came out in different ways, in terms of being, putting out a crochet toy which is creative, which is eco-friendly, which will not choke in your baby's mouth. you know because you're a mom, what are the hazards of plastic, and the different type of products that can cause, there are various things the babies can choke on. So keeping all those in mind, they came up with toys. They came up with small thing like
And all
jablas.
these
So
moms.
all are moms, and they are experienced
We
themselves.
should put that poll up.
I think we should now, the first poll. Let's see
I'm going
what.
to launch that poll.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
right.
just.
So everyone who's watching, you have a poll up on your screen. It'd be really great if you could quickly vote so that, what do you think? How many women have left their careers to take care of their family? 50%, 40%, 15%, and 60%.
These are coming in.
Right. I'm going to end the polling now and I'm going to display the results. Right. So, Satya, would you like to tell everyone if they've, most of them have hit 60% have left their careers to take care of the family.
Yes.
So, and of course, 15 is zero and 40% is 23% and 50% is 15%. Yeah. What do you like? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. So, going with the research that was done by BBC a couple of years ago, one of the leading online magazine, that Your Story, they did a couple of researches to understand this fact, and they said about 40%. So 40% of the women leave their career to take care of the family. And when I say family, it's mostly their babies. Take up their make sure that they are being given full attention that they have to get. So 40% is the answer. I like the fact that a lot of people said 60%. uh,
Yeah.
well, yes. I mean, this was done in 2019, so you never know. Maybe the percentages have gone up because now today's mom are very, very hands-on. They want to do everything by themselves. They have taken resort to homeschooling as well because they feel it's better that they have full control of their child's, you know, the child's upbringing, and the kind of behaviors they inculcate, what they want to keep as a value, teach them as values. So 40% is what is the research tells us. That tells you that a lot of women we met had done the same thing. They were, highly paid jobs, were they just left that because of their because they had to take care of the child, and they had a creative sense in them which still needed to be fulfilled. And that's how they came out with different things, different type of products that they wanted to try out, and we started to bring them on board. So that was one of the things that we started to do. And then, apart from that, we also brought in a lot of enterprises that are social enterprises. They are NGOs who are working with women who from a lower socioeconomic background to help them, earn money and be financially independent. So we started with that thought. Slowly, gradually, we saw that there are so many more businesses that are run by women in this space, and we could have them on board. So we have about 65 plus brands on board now, and I would say 99% of them are run by women entrepreneurs. Of course, there are different people in their lives who have influenced them to do certain things, have helped them come to where they are. But 99% of the brands that we have, all of them are something that started by a woman, and their story is not very different from our story. They saw the need within their
They saw
own
the
family.
problem, they wanted to solve it.
Yes, and one of the brands that we have is Super Bottoms, and her story is amazing. It's about cloth diapering. She, as a person, is very passionate towards environment, and and just the cost of the diapers were very, were really too much for anyone to, for a middle, for middle family to kind of invest in. And
Mhm.
what is it going? It's going in the ocean. It's but not biodegradable. It'll never recycle, or it never will go away from the earth. It's going in the ocean. So she wanted to solve that problem, and she came up with cloth diapers, of something that, here I want to point out to all the Zen generation, the generation that we have today, is a lot of these things. If you see every small thing that we see now, today's world, as is something that we are bringing back from our childhood. Our grandmothers used to do that. They never had diapers. They used to make diapers with cloth. They never had this big carriers. They used to just take a whale and tie their babies around and go about doing their field work. Right? They never had access to things like putting a baby in a cradle, or they all had to just put something in their, use their old sari or something, put it on the ceiling and make a hammock out of it, and put their babies in it. And that's what's been, all of that is coming back now. So traditionally, Indian society, Indian parenting has been very, very earthy, has been very, very eco-friendly. Over a period of time, because of the different technology that came in, it kind of made things easy for parents to go at. So today, a mother would choose a cloth diaper or a normal diaper. There is a reason why they would go choose something like a cloth diaper. Even there are people who are innovating. I recently came across a brand who's innovating bamboo diapers. So it is the convenience of putting a diaper onto a baby. At the same time, it is completely biodegradable. So you're not harming the environment. So a lot of such things are happening, and we wanted to get these women together with us, and that's what our website is all about. Not only we are now just one part of our website. Our
I
whole
think,
website is
clearly, like the number of people that you brought together in this one operation that includes a lot of the other mompreneurs, and they build these communities for themselves. So you are part of their
most
businesses as well.
correct.
Now, I'd like to ask the question straight. This doesn't seem like just a business, right? You're just not doing a business. It seems much more than that. Can you tell us why it is much more than just a business? It's a lot of, like, I mean, of course, bringing a lot of women together and all of that. So, would you like to tell us a little more about that?
So every business is a reflection of the people who are leading it. So from a small business to something that is really big, it is a reflection of how the person who's leading the business wants the business to be. If there is so this is just not a business for us, because we want to um, kind of show that there is so much happening in the world, right? And it is all about our passion to uh, create a world that is sustainable, change people's, one of the social media campaigns that we ran was um, ma- showing different type of people that we have in our society, showing different kids, different differently abled kids and bringing awareness around that and making sure that it's normal. It's there's nothing abnormal about it. There is nothing different about it. You just have to understand that they have special needs, and you have to cater to those special needs. That's about it. It's not that you have to. So there was a lot of social media drive that we did around that. So I
Again
think
on
for
Instagram.
me personally, it's I've always been someone who has been bending towards um, doing something for the community. It could be the fact that I was raised in a defense background. My father was in Indian Air Force, and I've always had this patriotism in me that I have to do something for my country, something for my country. So I chose I left my high-paying corporate job long back to get into an NGO that supports education for children um, who are from lower economic background. We created e-learning modules for them and dispersing it to those kids who are not able to, for not able to get the kind of attention that they should get, and they have talent. They have talent. So, so my it's a feeling that I had that I had to do something back for the community. Be it so even today we don't have our own manufacturing unit, though we came across a lot of investors who wanted us to do that. Precisely why we don't have an investor
Where
on
does it
board
come
yet.
from then? Where are your products made? And who makes them?
They're made from, like I said, small business units, the tailor around the corner who, we want to see that impact that because of the business that we are giving, he's able to put his child to higher secondary education. Um, our products come from this NGO that is there in Hyderabad that supports women from lower social economic background, and they are trying to give them sustainable life and by making them financially independent. Now it is
This is
easy
really
for
exciting. Again, I mean, again, a lot of women involved, even at the sourcing place.
yes.
I mean, do you have a stat on how many women businesses are run in India at this point of time? It'll be great to see that number go up, but at this point of time, what's the number like?
So at this point on, it's very less. So so there is about 58.9 billion businesses that are run in India, small, medium, large, and out of that, only 13% is run by women at this moment. Even though this is a bigger revolution that we need to bring in than what we are doing right now. We need to support and encourage more and more women to start their entrepreneurship
Yeah,
journey because it's I believe there are challenges. I believe that you have to choose. No matter what people say, a mother is a mother, right? So she needs to take a call at one point of time. What is more important? Is this more important for me or my child? And when those things come into picture, a lot of them tend to choose their child over anything that they're doing. So we need to encourage more and more mothers to be independent, come up with solutions that they are struggling to, and that's what has happened in our small little thing that we are doing. We're finding those women entrepreneurs who are doing such great stuff, and we have a good follower. We have a great view. We have a lot of people who come to our website, and we want to show them that there is so much more to offer than what you really think, and there is so many things that women are doing these days.
that's great.
So i think from people, from me and Shilpi, to the person who's stitching our clothes, to that NGO that's making that handmade toys which we are retailing for them, to that small shop from where we source local fabrics. Everything is there is a woman.
Wow. It
So
looks like that 14% number is probably just taken up by you, your organization, and a couple of initiatives
very
around.
small. We're very small in that 13%. It needs to go up a lot more. But then, and we never started. This just happened for us. We never thought it's going to be
And that's the best part about it. It's not like you
organically
voluntarily went out and looked for women. It just happened that
happened.
they're pioneering these
Right.
initiatives
Right. And
automatically.
because one, I have that sort of a commitment towards my country that I have to do something. I've always been someone who wanted to do something back for the community. I'm very if anybody is throwing garbage on the road, I get very passionate about it. And people are like, okay, relax, you can't do much about it, you can just create awareness. But then I get very angry to an extent. Passion is a small word. I get angry at them for dirtying the place and not keeping things. Being a little more responsible towards your own country is not going to harm you in any way. So those are the things that I feel passionate for, and that's how it went this way. For Shilpi, it was her, when she became a mother, she had her whole life go upside down. Okay, the shift from her own self changed to my baby now. What does he need? What does he need? What does he, I need to do this for him. I need to. She wouldn't buy anything from the shop that is packed, that is packaged. She would make everything at home. And at that time, she communicated and she connected with such like-minded mothers. And then slowly, gradually, we thought, okay, there is an option. There are people who are doing this, and that's how it organically happened for us. And she got inspired by these women who are doing different things, and we're like, okay, let's have them. It's okay, we want. So that's why you have to take a call whether you want, at what point you want this to be a business, and at what point you want to drive your passion. So if they can both come together and take you to a place that where you are comfortably placed, this can also be a great financial financially supportive environment for you
It
as
was
a.
a win-win.
Sorry.
It was a win-win situation. I mean, it was
Win-win
positive on
situation
every front.
for both of us, and she, with her passion, my passion, and we both are very, we've known each other for about almost 20 years now.
Wow.
So, so most of the
Most
time,
of our Gen Z haven't lived that long. But yeah.
thank you for letting me know that. So at one point when I started my career as a trainer, I started my career as a trainer when I was 22-year old. And I was training a batch of 20 people. And that time I was in this corporate training them on accent and communication and stuff like that. So then I had people who are like 32, 33 in my class, and they're like, "You're so young," and all that. And then slowly, gradually, as I moved up the ladder and I started grooming the people, then I started seeing a lot of young people coming in. So then every now and then I get reminded that that was a lot of time ago. So this was another reminder that my friend, we both have been together for almost 20 years. And here we have people who are not even that old yet. But then
Yeah.
that shows the kind of understanding we both have. It is not a typical business scenario. Both of us, she comes with certain acumen, I come with certain acumen. I have this whole product, I'm the one who can chase people and get the work done. And she's the one who can create this environment where people can join in a collaborative uh, way. So all these women have come together, all of us have come together, and we are not Amazon, for them.
Mhm.
We can't give them numbers like how Amazon would do. Obviously, they have much more. But there's a reason why they still want to be connected with us. It's because of the way we think. It's because of the certain value system that we run with, which sort of concurs with them, and that's why they are associated with us, and that's the kind of community we have built. So today, a lot of, I mean, it's been like about 4 or 5, 6 months ago when we started calling indie project store not a business, a community. We have created a community of people who believe in eco living, who believe in conscious living, who believe in shopping only if it is necessary. And so if I have had experiences where mothers would make their child wear, they'll pick up a piece of clothing that they will make their child wear when they are 1.5 year old, and they go up all the way till 4 or 5 year old. So the kind of designs we come up with, the contemporary designs that we come up with, that kind of helps them convert that thing into a sustainable thing. I have seen mothers who would pass it on to their siblings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And the younger child is wearing them now. And it's just, it is a myth that Indian cotton cannot be maintained for a long time. It is a myth. If you take care in what you have bought, what one has, definitely it can be worn for a longer time. And we have mothers who are, who do that and proudly post it on Instagram as well. See, this is what I bought, and now this. So they show both the pictures, and it's really heartwarming because that's what we want. We don't want we don't really push for sales that much on, to
Yeah,
be
I
very
mean
honest.
that's exactly that what I've realized throughout this conversation that we've had the past 45 minutes is that you thank you so much for bringing back that point. The name of the session is "It's Just Not a Business," and I was every time you mentioned that it's just not a business, it's not a business. More than that, it was really driving the point home. And thank you so much for mentioning that again and again. It really helped us with our objectives for the session.
So
And
um,
and yeah,
just one thing I wanted to say to
yeah,
people who start who are listening right now: if you're able to solve a problem that a community is facing, then you have a business there. Don't come up. We started this when we saw that there was now nobody else offering this, and that's how it started. Now we have many more brands who we have listed with us, and they come to us and say, we saw you and it's an inspiration for us, and we started doing this. And we are happy to have them on board, and we have them on board, and we have listed them as well. And they're pretty much similar to what we are doing, but we don't mind. Because our whole thing to start off this was to support women, to support small businesses in India, and to basically keep the economy running here. And I hated the fact that wear we had to buy high quality clothing from brands like H&M, Zara, Marks and Spencer, and they all are made in India or Bangladesh or Pakistan. I'm like, hello. I don't think it's fair. So
and you
then,
probably end up spending like 3 or 4 times of what it actually cost.
exactly. And
Sourcing them
you
from the
know
same country you're in.
because no doubt they're amazing products, they're made very well, they have great quality. We want to give the same quality and the same feel to our audience, and it's an affordable thing that they can pick it up, and they can use it for their child and their siblings, and pass it on if they need be, because that is the quality that we are looking at for these products. And so comes couple of things that they talking about people who solve a problem, and two, whatever we are doing, make sure that it is somewhere appealing to the generation today wants to keep things very, very sustainable, do not want to engage in thrift shopping and buying things randomly. They are very intelligent shoppers now. They want to buy products that make sense, that do not harm the environment. So these things, I think, couple of things that if we keep in mind, I think it's going to be it's a good start.
Great. So I'm gonna mention those points again. It starts off with solving a problem that's immediate, that's probably very personal, and then you can probably turn that into a business, right? Right, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Satya, for doing this.
No
Thank you for sharing those words. And again, mentioning that point again on how you can turn a passion into something that also benefits a lot of people around you, benefits a lot of communities. And again, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for the work that you guys are doing with the women community across the country. It's fantastic to hear that just exciting to know that at every step
Yes.
you did not look out for you didn't go out into the market and out looking for women, but they were there,
They
and you
were
had to work with them because they were doing some
they
good
were
work.
there. Yeah. Great.
Right. And great. So for all the attendees, thank you so much. For the past, 7 to 8 days, we've been doing these sessions, the Global Sorrows Interactive. This is one of our, towards the end of our interactive for this season. But, you know, it was difficult, of course, in the beginning. Like I said, we've been working with, schools, with students, with the Gen Z. We've been doing programs across the world, but yes, it was a very difficult time for the past couple of months. But it didn't stop us from doing something like this. An interactive to do it online, and to see about 1,000 plus kids come and interact with us over the sessions that we've had the last couple of weeks. It's amazing to see that and give us a lot of pleasure. But again, thank you so much for that sharing feedback that you've been giving us throughout the session. We'll automatically, of course, we'll be having a continuation of this season. We'll have a lot more interactive videos come in over the next couple of months. Again, based on different problems that we've seen Gen Z solving, and also problems that you can solve in the next couple of years, both when you're at school and when you go out to work as well. We'll be working on, we'll be talking about gender equality. We'll be talking about solvers from different age groups. This session we also took a virtual selfie, which we were really proud of. And yeah, we've had a great session so far. And thank you so much for showing up bang on time for every session. To all those kids and of course parents who've joined the sessions as well. We'd really like you to join the next couple of sessions. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and all these sessions are live on YouTube. So if you've missed any session from the past, just go, look for it on YouTube, look for Worldview Education on YouTube, and you'll find it. Right. So great. Thank you so much, Satya. And thank you everyone who's attended this. I hope all of you are staying home, you're staying safe. And, let's start practicing the social distancing thing. And I think we really need it. So again, a lot of problems out there. I know you guys are at home. A lot of problems to solve for you, Gen Z specifically. So thank you so much again for coming up. And yeah, we will end the session now. See
Thank you,
you.
guys. Stay home and stay safe.